Hi, it's Sandra. Welcome to another episode of Asexualized, my asexual life. This is a place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great big subscribe button below right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live like now, post a new video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you find the content useful, helpful, insightful in any way, shape or form, or you just want to give this channel some love. I really appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. If you don't know who I am Sandra Bellamy, author of this awesome Asexual Perspectives book, which is 47 real life asexual stories, and they're all giving their opinion about love, life and sex, and telling their own personal story regarding that. So yeah, check that out on Amazon. The link is down below in the description. So today's episode was all about asexual. That's me reacting to excuses sexuals make about liking almost naked women's bodies. Right, so following on for yesterday's episode, or I spoke to you about this guy that I met in one of the dating groups on Facebook that isn't an asexual dating group. And this guy is originally from Bangladesh. He lives in the UK. He's lived here for a few years. And if you remember, I said I was kind of cringe when a sexual guy, when you first meet him and he's going all out, oh, I live in a 1-bedroom flat. Because if they're, he could just say I live in a flat. The bedroom means usually a sexual thing about sex when they say that, because there's no need for them to emphasize the bedroom, is there? All they need to do is say I live in a flat. That's all they need to say on my own. Do you know what I mean? They don't need to say it's 1 bedroom. How many bedrooms it's got? So anyway, so I was a bit, get a bit like, eek, like danger sign when I see that. Anyway, I didn't realize till I woke up, because I went to sleep tonight. I did nearly a 4-hour stream last time, and when I woke up, I didn't realise that I'd had some missed messages from this guy in my inbox, my other inbox, because we're not friends on Facebook. And so he gave me a thumbs up and 3 attachments. I couldn't see what the attachments were. So I was asking him, like, what are the attachments? I can't see them. And when I woke up, because I got up later, obviously, because I didn't go to sleep too much later, he said, oh, they were showing you of the club I go to, basically, footage he took at the club. But because we're not friends, I couldn't actually see them. He just took the screenshots, trying to say that that's what he was telling me. So I was like, oh, okay. Because I said, well, I've got a footage of my Ace Fiber Girl page on Facebook of me clubbing. I said, I think they both might be on there, but certainly one of the ones is. And so he said that's one of his favourite songs, the one I was dancing to, favourite Brazilians. I think he said it was his favourite Brazilian song, I think he said. Where is it? Yeah. He sent me a message, a voicemail. So yeah, he said it's his favorite Brazilian song or something. So anyway, he sent it over to me, a screenshot of who actually sings it, right? So I can go and watch it. Now, when I went to watch it, the video is like full of women with barely any clothes on. Like, they must have the thinnest G-string up their bum possible. So it's very, very overtly sexual imagery. Now, I have to admit that some of the songs I watched, they are very, when I say watch them, I like reggaeton music, I like a lot of foreign music, but some of the videos that I could watch if I was actually participating in watching them, which some of the time I've just got them on the background quite a lot of time, but they have got scantily clad women, they are sexual as well, right? But obviously when a sexual person shows me that, I'm like, I'm not surprised it's one of your favorite songs, and I'm guessing that you really like the naked women in the video as well. What I try and do is get mixes on YouTube. They're mixed by a DJ, so I've just got one universal picture, which is like just one still image, and it's usually of the people's faces, so I don't have all these videos with loads of naked women in them. And also the videos I tend to watch, a lot of them have got more guys in than women, so it's predominantly more foreign guys than women a lot of time. Anyway, the video was really, really, I thought, really, really, really like, whoa. And it's just like, so I said to him, I said that basically I'm just playing the song on YouTube I love this song. They play this one in my club. Yes, this is the one I'm dancing to. Thank you. So I thought it was nice he found that. And I said, I don't like the video with the women, but love the song a lot. And then he said, well, I like the women more than the song. And then he's got this monkey face. Now I've told you before that if a sexual posts a monkey face in a message, it means, you know, like up to monkey business, naughty business, sexual business, basically. And then he's got all these smiley face, like laughing faces. And I said, oh yeah, you are highly sexual. I hate naked bodies, especially women's. Makes me feel sick. I often have the music playing in the background while I work. But when doing video editing, I can't. So I have to take breaks and I get a DJ mix often that has just one photo for the cover. No nakedness, right? Oh, hi, Ray. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I'm streaming a bit earlier tonight. Because I need to get some rest. So yeah, I'm doing it early and I've got 6 hours of training later. So I won't be doing another stream for a while till Wednesday after this. No, Tuesday after this. It's Monday now, isn't it? So I'll be doing one, but it won't be till I won't be doing one Monday, like near midnight Monday. I am doing one midnight Monday now, but it's like on Monday. I won't be doing the one later on Monday night that goes through to Tuesday. That's what I mean. So I decided to do it now instead because I got 6 hours of training tomorrow, and I'm just not gonna be able to fit that in. And Skyping my best friend tomorrow as well. So it's nice to see you. So yeah. So anyway, so what I hate, right, even when I was in a relationship with my last long-term heterosexual ex, is when sexual guys, they just make up a load of rubbish about why they like women's naked bodies, basically. It's just a load of rubbish. And I'd rather them just say, yeah, like he did. He said, well, I like the women more than the song, right? Okay. I said, yeah, that's because you're highly sexual. Right, I get it, right? He could have just left it at that, but no, he has to make up some really feeble excuse, right? So this is what he told me. I think it's normal to accept a beauty. Now, probably from your point of view, it's a naked body. And I saw women is walking in beach without fear of criticism and having good time with friends. I mean, honestly, do you have to strip down to almost no clothes to actually go on a beach walking without criticism and enjoying time with your friends? It's a pop video as well, so it's not like that. It's not like they're going to have any criticism or be with their actual friends. It's fictitious. It's made up. The cameraman's told them where to go. Do you know what I mean? It's not even in a real life situation. It's just ridiculous. And I thought, I've never heard so much twaddle in all my life. Do you know what I mean? And a lot of the time, like, I know there's some asexuals that do say that in terms of naked bodies, oh, they don't view it as like a sexual object. They just view it as a beauty of the naked body. But sexual guys, they like naked bodies because they're sexually attracted and want to FCUK the woman. That's what they like the bodies for. And they just make up a load of rubbish as to why, you know, to basically justify why it's okay for them to look at a naked body. They make up some rubbish. So when he's saying rubbish like this, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Walking in beach without fear of criticism, having a good time with friends. I mean, it's a pop video. They've cleared the flaming beach, for goodness sake, for that bit. And obviously, you know, told them to go and get their practically nearly kit off to do the music video. It's absolute rubbish. So this type of thing just makes me so annoyed. My ex used to make up excuses all the time. Oh, it's just the female form. And I know some asexuals say that, but that just, to be honest, those type of things, they just really irritate me because it's like, it's not, especially where sexuals are concerned, it's not looking at a woman's naked body as in, oh, it's just a thing of beauty. It's because they are actually wanting to have sex with that thing. It's a sex object to them. This is what is just so annoying. So that's why I just, you know, personally, I don't, when anyone says to me, oh, look at the like body. I mean, why, if people admire bodies so much, naked bodies, why aren't more men's naked bodies on display? Why? Do you see pop videos with a guy with a G-string up his ass? No, you don't. You know, you see them with their top off, maybe. There are some pop videos I've seen where, you know, like I've got some music concerts. I think I've got a Kylie Minogue one, and there's one thing that, you know, some I watched it the other day. and I haven't watched it for years, and I didn't even realise. And obviously, that like a concert does have some scantily clad men as well as women, so it's a bit more equal, you know. And they've just got like a little thing around their bit on. But you know what I mean? You don't see that in pop videos. Do you know what I mean? Imagine if I was sexual. I'm not sexual, but imagine just some other heterosexual woman. And the guy has a G-string up his ass and like a little furry thing covering his bit. And she goes, yes, well, I admire the fact that he's out with his mates and he's living without fear of criticism and he's enjoying a good time with his mates. I mean, and that's why I'm looking at it. Do you know what I mean? It'd just be laughable. Honestly, absolutely laughable. So it's just like really ridiculous. And anyway, so then I said women can walk without fear and criticism of friends with clothes on. There's no need to be naked. I'm naked repulsed, not just sex repulsed, and I have never liked the naked body. Not in sculptures, not in paintings, and not at all. I think the body looks far better clothed. And I won't change my mind on that where women are especially concerned. And he's like, well, she want to be naked, or I would say she want to show what she got. I think, well, yeah, of course she wants to show what she gets. She's getting paid quite a bit for it, I expect. It's part of entertainment. At least that's a bit more actually true. But I don't call that entertainment, you see. I don't call oogling women's bodies that are almost naked entertainment, because it's just like looking at a woman in a sexual object way, and that's not very entertaining. I don't find that very funny personally, but there you go. But it's more what a lot of people would think, do you know what I mean, rather than making rubbish up about walking without fear of criticism with their friends. It's like they're not actually with their friends, it's fictitious. They've just, unless they might have other people that come in pop videos with them that's their friend, do you know what I mean? But it's just like, at least that's a bit more realistic. I'm pretty sure we all listen to this. I'm pretty sure we all at some point did this or enjoyed this. Maybe for time being or for some reason we changed a bit. But if she wants to be naked, I don't see any problem. That is her freedom of movement. You don't like them because they are naked. I like them because they are beautiful. So yes, it's just like at the end of the day, he's trying to say I was probably like it once and probably everyone else was like it. It's like, no, I have never ever gone on a beach with a bikini and G-string up my ass. I've never ever worn a bikini, for goodness sake. Do you know what I mean? It's like, don't stereotype me with your same sexual, sexual aura or sexual, roots or whatever. Do you know what I mean? It just really annoys me. And I said women can look more beautiful with clothes on. And I'm not into women anyhow and never been this type of woman. And he goes, I completely agree. A body looks more better in clothes. And also, as a man, if I had to choose for a relationship or marriage out of two women, I will go for the woman with clothes on. See what I mean? Double standards. So you're willing to watch a woman basically because you want to have sex with them, but at the end, and you find them sexually attractive. But when you're going to be in a relationship with a woman, you want her to be faithful to you and not show her body off like that so other guys can see it. This is how, do you see what I mean? Double standards. It's like if he was with a woman who he's married to, he wouldn't like her doing that. But oh no, she's just being free. She's just being free. Does it make you feel like, well, I hope you get a woman then that goes around scantily clad and all the guys look at her and then you'll be like, oh, that's not very good, is it? Do you know what I mean? It's just like kind of like double standards, right? And I said, yeah, because the other type can give their body so easily to another guy. That's why you wouldn't want to look. That's why you wouldn't want that type of woman in a relationship. You like looking at her because basically you're sexually attracted to her, even though he hasn't said those words. So it's all right for him to stare at her and oogle her, but yet you wouldn't want that type of woman in a relationship. So obviously he can't really approve of it, can he? Because if he was that happy with her living without fear of criticism with her friends, and he really loved his woman, he wouldn't care. He'd be like, yeah, sure, go out, look like that, because I'm happy for you, darling, because you are living in fear, you are living without fear of criticism, and you're with your friends, so it's fine. Ray, my ex-wife was only well dressed even on the beach. Exactly, Ray. Do you know what I'm saying? And thanks for letting me know that, because I didn't actually know that. But do you know what I'm saying? This guy's just talking rubbish. So it's all right for him to. Do you see what I mean? This is how you know that he's not telling the truth. Oh, I just like the beauty of the woman. If you like the beauty of the woman, and presumably you want a beautiful wife, why wouldn't you be okay for her to live without fear of criticism and be with her friends? Because it's just a rubbish excuse for the fact he likes looking at naked bodies or almost naked bodies. Obviously, if they were naked, I'm sure he'd love that as well. It's just an excuse. It just really makes me annoyed. And this is why I really can't be with a sexual unless a sexual person is not like this, because I can't stand guys like this. They absolutely really annoy me, because it's like you're just talking rubbish. It's just excuse, excuse, excuse. Especially when you can see the contradiction. If you were really happy that the woman was free and being herself, why wouldn't you want your wife to be like that? Or do you want to control her? Do you see what I'm saying? So it's ridiculous, because it's double standards. So when I said, yeah, because you wouldn't want a woman like that in a relationship or to marriage, because you know they can give that type their body so easy to another person. He's like, yeah, absolutely. So he totally agreed with me, you see. And then I said, I never watched porn in my life. And my best asexual friend is also naked repulsed like me. They are also into younger guys. They had a 3-year relationship previously with no nakedness. There are people like me. I don't think the naked female body is beautiful. I am proud I am different. I hate it. I hate if a guy watches porn or naked stuff if I was thinking about being in a relationship with him. Some asexual guys also like this, but not as much. Those guys aren't for me. I prefer a younger guy who is not into this and into more sweet and innocent stuff. I have to go get ready to buy food because I had to go to the supermarket before it closes. So then he's messaging me back when I'm actually, I didn't message him back till later because I didn't see his last message. He goes, be honest. I mean, I didn't even know what to title this video as, because it's like, I don't know where to title it as asexual, what I've done, or asexual reacts to the fact that this person talking about asexuality being a philosophy. Asexuality isn't a philosophy, it's a sexual orientation. So he goes, be honest. I don't know why you think like this. But again, with due respect, your opinion, I don't want to make any comments about your philosophy. In hand, 5 finger is different, and same way, all humans are different. But I know one day you will meet your soulmate. Better take care, bye. So at least he said I'll meet my soulmate, which I know I will. Clearly not him. And then I put, asexuality is my sexual orientation, not a philosophy. It's like people just think you plucked asexuality out. Do you know what I mean? Like you've just plucked this out of thin air and decided to call yourself it. Do you know what I mean? They don't understand that we're actually built this way. It's our sexual orientation. We're built to not see someone and want sex with them. We're built not to go, oh, look at them. I want sex. Do you know what I mean? That's what we are built like. Because it's our sexual orientation, just like heterosexuals are built to think, oh, I want sex with that. Asexuals are built the opposite way. So it really annoys me when people go on about, just make up stupid stuff about why you're asexual. Like tell you why you're like the way you are. And it's not like you're like somehow. It's like you're actually a sexual orientation. Do you know what I mean? It just becomes like very, very weird what people come out with. Do you know what I mean? So I said, asexuality, sexual orientation, not a philosophy. Google asexuality. There are many different types of asexuals. In broad term, we don't experience sexual attraction, so don't need the urge. So don't get the need, urge, or want for partnered sexual intercourse. Just like it's natural for you to like women's naked bodies, if you find them sexually appealing. So I told him, because I thought I'm fed up with this excuses he's giving. I told him, because you find them sexually appealing, it's natural for many asexuals. It's natural for many asexuals to not like sex. And to many asexual, a body is just there as a function, not a sexual interest. This is what's different. A lot of asexuals, literally, the body provides a function. So the body is to eat and to go to the toilet. And obviously it comes with cuddling, because when you cuddle, then the body happens to be there, right? But the body more with asexuals, with the way the mind asexuals work, with the way we think, it's, you know, a lot of the time, not for all asexuals, but a lot of the time we come from a more kind of practical functionary way. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's got functions to do. You know, like even asexuals that want children, some want them naturally, but then some of those people that have them naturally, asexuals, have children, they won't have sex again. They're just purely doing it to get kids because they don't want or need the sex. Do you see what I mean? So, oh, hi, Megan. Lots of love to you. I decided to stream because I need some rest later on, because I've got 6 hours of training later today, so I won't be doing another stream for a while. So I needed to do it earlier tonight because I need some rest. It's nice, lovely to see you. So you know, so asexuals tend to think of the naked body as you know, as a way that oh, hi Sam, lots of love to you, nice to see you. So yeah, so asexuals tend to think of the naked body more for functional reasons, you know, like it performs a task, you know, it goes to the toilet, it needs to eat, you know, it walks, it goes, it's all more functionary, whereas sexuals look at it as a sexual object, look at women's bodies as a sexual object. I want to FC UK that. Do you see the difference? So when he's giving me rubbish excuses about why he's interested in women, like I told him in here, I said, you know, it's natural for you to like women's naked bodies if you find them sexually appealing. That's why he really likes them. Do you know what I'm saying? Not sweet and innocent stuff he's trying to make out, which clearly is not sweet and innocent when he's there not wanting a woman like that in a relationship. But it's okay for him to look at it because he's just making up excuses. Do you see what I'm saying? So, you know, you know, obviously there are some asexuals that do like touching all over the naked body. There are some asexuals that will say they like the beauty of the naked body. But, you know, I from hearing heterosexuals year after year after year when I was in relationships with them go on about the female naked body, I just absolutely hate it when guys go on about, you know, like, oh, it's just I just like it for its beauty. Sexuals do not like the body, naked body, just the beauty. They like it because they want to have sex with it. Do you know what I mean? It just really annoys me. My ex used to do it all the time, make up some rubbish and then twist it on me. It's like, no, you want to have sex with those women. If you could, you would. You know, they're in your sexual fantasies. You do whatever over their pictures. Do you know what I mean? It's disgusting. I just hate that type of thing. Megan, yeah, it drives me crazy how they sexualize things, especially food. Yeah, Megan, exactly. And you know, like this guy was trying to say to me that he was trying to pretend he wasn't sexualizing it. That's what was really annoying, because they make up excuses. You came in late to the stream, but basically he said that the reason, just recapping, he said the reason he liked it. So he said, I think it's normal to accept a beauty. Now, probably from your point of view, it's a naked body, and I saw women is walking in beach without fear of criticism, having a good time with friends. This is almost naked women in a pop video. And like I was explaining earlier, because I'm just recapping, is that, you know, like it's in a pop video. They're not with their friends unless they happen to have friends that are actually in the pop video with them. And of course they're not going to be criticised because it's a pop blooming video. It's completely stupid, made up rubbish reason, because actually he likes them. Because he said originally, I like women more than the song, because he fancies the women. You know, and then he goes, well, she wants to be naked, or I would say she wants to show what she got as part of entertainment. I mean, that's a bit more to the truth. But, you know, he said that he would never have. He said, I completely agree. A body looks more better in clothes. And also, as a man, if I have to choose for a relationship or marriage, out of two women, he'll go for the one with the clothes on. And so it's double standards. It's all right for him to make up rubbish excuses of why he actually finds the women's bodies sexually attractive, and he's trying to cover up with saying stupid, innocent stuff like, oh, well, they're just with their friends and living out fear of criticism. But he wouldn't want a woman doing like that in a relationship. But if he truly loved a woman and he truly believed that, he wouldn't mind a woman being like that, because he'd be like, well, I'm really happy. She's living, she's walking free on the beach without criticism, and she's with her friends. If he was honest, if he meant what he said, but he doesn't, he's lying. Exactly, that's completely ridiculous, Megan. It infuriates me. These people really infuriate me when they say stuff like this. This is why I can't be with a sexual who's like this. I'm not saying every sexual person's like this, but a lot of them are like this. Sexual guys, the highly sexual guys, they just want to give you any excuses, and then it's all turned on you as like, oh, you're weird because it's natural to like the naked body. Megan, it's almost dehumanizing. Exactly. So he just likes the eye candy. Think that's a term? Yeah. Basically, he likes a woman because he's sexually attracted to women. But the truth is, which is what I said, because I said, I said to him, I said, you wouldn't, yeah, because the other type of women can give their body so easily to another guy. And he's absolutely. So if he knows that women like that are basically like, he cannot see what I mean. He's completely contradicted himself. One minute he's saying, oh, he sees women, he sees those, because he's trying to justify the reason for him looking at naked women and try and say it's not sexual. But then I've told him it is sexual because he's trying to say that, obviously it's pop video, so it's fictitious anyway, but he's trying to say that he sees them as not being criticised and living without fear of criticism and being with their friends. Then later on, he's going and saying about the relationship. Yeah, so he wouldn't be with a woman in a relationship. And I'm saying because they give their body so easy to another guy. He said, absolutely. So of course it's sexual. You know what I mean? And that's how you know he's not telling the truth. Because if he really believed that as a woman, he wouldn't mind. He wouldn't mind having a woman like that in a relationship, because he'd be happy, because he wouldn't be controlling. He'd be loving and say, why, babe, you go and walk like that, because I love the fact I admire your beauty, which is what he said. And I like the fact you can walk in without fear of criticism and be with your friends. And that's the most important thing to me, because obviously that's why I really like your naked body to be sprawled all across the beach. Do you know what I mean? Megan, it's also like how they justify it's okay to be a stripper or some other sexual worker. Yeah, I know. I mean, I did have someone who lived in my, I live in the middle of a shared house, but in a flat. I've lived here for years, and there was a woman who was a stripper. She did that for a living. She was a nice, she was a nice person and personality. I mean, I didn't, when I say she was a nice personality, she wasn't like someone I'd, I'm still friends with her on Facebook, I think. It's not someone I'd hang around with usually. But, when I was talking to her sometimes, she was nice. She wasn't a horrible person. But, But yeah, basically, Megan, they're trying to, like, when they justify being with a stripper or, and stuff like that, it's like, it's kind of like these people make you feel like you're going crazy or something. But actually, you're not the crazy one. It's the fact that they're not telling the truth and they just make up rubbish, So, I said to him that it's just like it's natural for you to like women's naked bodies as you find them sexually appealing. It's natural for many asexuals to not like sex, and to many asexuals, the body is just there as a function, not a sexual interest. And I think, thanks, Megan. And I think that's the main point. It's roast of it. I mean, I know there's asexuals that do like touching the body and stuff, and I know there's some asexuals that do watch porn and do like some stuff, especially in the more sexual end of the spectrum, so I'm not saying that, every asexual is different like this, but, I think like, asexuals that really don't experience any sexual attraction, I don't think we go around thinking this type of stuff very much, and I just don't like that, I just don't like these type of guys. And then anyway, and yes, I will meet my asexual soulmate and someone who understands me and my sexual orientation. I recall 1% of the population is asexual. Love is not the same as sex. And you can have a loving, healthy, and happy relationship without sex ever. Obviously, you need sex as you are heterosexual with a regular to high sex drive. So I'm saying this about him, even though I've just met him, because I just know. And I said, I wish you well. There are tons of sexual girls out there who I am sure you can easily meet. If I liked sex and was heterosexual, I could easily get that. I get plenty of offers from guys in my city, but I don't. Take care. And he's like, oh, beautiful. So he's copying my message, the one I said asexuality is my sexual orientation, not a philosophy. Google asexuality. Because he was on about asexuality being philosophy. Megan, very good points you made. Thank you. You know, he's there saying, basically asexuality is you know, like he said, oh, I don't know why you have this philosophy. That's what he said when you, obviously you're a bit late to come into the stream, a few of you. So yeah, he's basically saying about, I don't know why you, but honestly, I don't know why you think this, but again, with due respect to your opinion, I don't want to make any comments about your philosophy. Asexuality is not a philosophy, but he did say beautiful when I said it's not, it's my sexual orientation, not a philosophy. Do you know what I mean? So he did say beautiful. It wasn't being horrible, but it's just like, oh, this is why I really can't be with a sexual. I can, do you know what I mean? It just makes my skin crawl, guys, like these. Not because he's a nasty person per se, but just in terms of being asexual. I couldn't be with a sexual guy like this. It would just drive me. It would just drive me. I have been with guys like this in the past, and it's just like, it's cringy to me. Sam, so is heterosexuality also a philosophy? Exactly, Sam. That's why I honestly felt like saying to him, but I thought, no, don't bother getting into conversation with him again. You know, just tell him that he's, because I told him, I said, just like it's natural for you to look at women's naked bodies as you find them sexually appealing, because that is the damn truth. Not all this rubbish he's giving me, rubbish excuses. But that's what I think. I mean, I remember when I was in the taxi. I don't know. I said this a long time ago on my one of my live streams before, that I was in the taxi, because I talk when I'm in taxis. I usually, and especially if I'm coming back from a club, I usually talk to them about asexuality. And this particular taxi driver, I said to him, I think it was actually, I don't know if it was a guy I got to pick me up from the club. I think it might have been another time. I'm not sure. And anyway, I said to him that that basically I was asexual. I said that, and he got really angry in the car. And so I had to be very careful what I said, and he, because, well, he got angry after I said, because I said to him, he said something to me. He was angry the fact I didn't like sex, didn't experience sexual attraction. So he was like, so obviously sexuals must get angry with us too. And it's like, but I don't see why he would get angry, because it's not like, you know, it's like he needed to have sex with me. So I don't know why it bothered him so much. But it seems to bother sexuals if you don't want sex for some weird reason. And yeah, he was like, oh, he's going, oh, it's just a phase you're going through, he said to me. So I turned around to him and said, oh, right, so because you're heterosexual, it's just a phase you're going through, is it? That's a phase you're going through. And honestly, he was so irate, but I had to stop speaking to him, because he was driving the taxi and he was in a right bad mood when I said that. He couldn't believe that I said something back to him. And he was really getting angry, so I just shut up, because I thought my safety is more important in the car. Megan, the sayings they use against us, like you need to try it to like it, or you'll meet the right one day. These can be twisted against them too. Yeah, you should go without sex for 5 years. Try it, you might like it. Megan, he's mad because it was hurting him somehow. It makes no sense. Exactly. It doesn't make sense, but the asexuals do. Some asexuals do get very angry. It's like when I was on the dating site Mingle. I'm still registered on there, but I haven't been on there for like, it's well over a month now. Can't even remember. The 14th of May, I think it was, last time, I think. I was on there. And there was a guy who got really angry with me for being on there because he told me it was a hookup site. I'm like, well, it doesn't actually say that. It says mingle2.com. It should be called hookup2.com if it's a hookup site. But obviously, most of the people pretty much probably weren't on there for hookups. But he got really peed off with me, because I don't see why someone like you would be on a site like this. It's almost angry that I'm not sexual for him, because he wished I was, you know. But I don't understand why the taxi driver got mad. It's ridiculous. It's like, it's no skin off your nose whether I like sex or not, is it? You're a taxi driver. Do you know what I mean? So it made no sense. Absolutely no sense. Sam says to Megan, I have actually turned those statements on them several times, saying to try not having sex or trying homosexuality for a bit. Yeah, Sam, the problem is probably some of them have, probably like a lot of straight guys you get do actually try a guy, don't they? But not because they're homosexual. I don't. Well, they might. Do you think they're homosexual, or do you not, or do you just think they're trying to play around because they just need sex? Because I got told that some guys, or I found out that some guys, they just have sex with other guys because they just have the sexual desire, not the sexual attraction. So they just need sex. So they have it with guys because that's who is available at the time. Megan, so have I, and I've gotten to the point where I just talk back. Yeah. Well, I did obviously talk back to the taxi driver, but I had to shut up. This was a long time ago, mind you. It's a couple of years ago now. Might have even been longer than a couple of years ago because, you know, like, I mean, he had the steering wheel and he was getting a bit irate, to say the least. I'm like, just shut up, Sandra. You're in a car. You don't want an accident. You need to get home safely. I wasn't far from home at that point either, but I was on like a place where there's, you know, a bridge with cars coming either way, and I'm like, yeah. Just like, shut up. You said what you need to say. But yeah, I'm glad you two say something back though, because why should they just attack us? It's ridiculous, you know, for not wanting sex. And you get so fed up with them saying those stupid things like you just haven't met the right person yet. It's a phase. You know, and when this guy's saying stuff like it's a philosophy, it's like it's not a philosophy. I hate it when a lot of guys go, oh, okay, yeah, okay, it's your thinking. It's like, it's not, I'm thinking. It's like, it's a sexual orientation. Do you know what I mean? It's just weird. Some of the stuff they come out with is absolutely crazy. Do you know what I mean? It's like, really, it's just like, it's not a philosophy. There's nothing wrong with us. It's normal sexuality, which is asexuality, is a sexual orientation just like any other sexual orientation. So it's normal for us to be like this, even though it might not be what the world in general population is like. Do you know what I mean? It's really interesting because on the training, I was on the live train yesterday, but I'll just be doing this stream and then I won't be doing one till Tuesday because I got 6 hours of training to do today, pretty much. I got 2 videos to catch up on and a live one later. So, and I need to get some rest. I need to rest my voice as well for a bit because it's starting to get a bit croaky. But I can't. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. And on the training I saw yesterday now, the live training, there was a woman who's a triathlon person, and they were sharing her inspirational story that she's overcome leukemia since a diagnosis last year, and she's got a wife. So they're lesbian couple, and they were, you know, her wife was there and she was talking about her wife, and her wife gave her a kiss on the screen. I just thought that's lovely. So the training, you know, I'm doing is fine with LGBT people as well, you know, and different sexual orientations. So I do think that's nice when they do stuff like that, you know. Megan, or they say we have trauma and it made us this way. Oh yeah, I hate that. I absolutely hate it. It's like, you know, sexuals go through trauma as well, but it doesn't stop them wanting sex. I have been through trauma, but it didn't stop me having sex. I went through sexual trauma before I had sex. It's like, it didn't stop me having sex. It's just annoying. Absolutely annoying. The point is that we just don't want it. We don't look at that person and think, God, I want sex with you. It's just like, ugh. It's like, where's the sick bucket, please? You know what I mean? And I just hate when they make excuses. I'd rather the guy just say, well, I really want to have sex with a woman and I fancy them sexually, rather than making some rubbish up. But they make it up to justify themselves, and it's just ridiculous. It's like, clearly you're not telling the truth because you wouldn't want to be in a relationship with that type of woman. So clearly it's not okay to be like that, is it? If you wouldn't actually be in a relationship with that type of woman. Do you know what I mean? Clearly it's not okay to that person. You know what I mean? So it's just very, you know, I just hate all the excuses they keep giving, you know, for our own sexual orientation. It's like, you know, let's make up a list for sexuals, shall we? You know, sexuals. Oh, you had a hormone problem. You've got a hormone balance. This is what they say to asexuals. Well, you know, hey, Heterosexuals might have a hormone imbalanced in favor of being sexually attracted to someone. Do you know what I mean? Like trauma, they've been through so much trauma, they need to actually cleanse themselves by having sex. Maybe it's a result of trauma, they need to have sex. Do you know what I mean? It's like we could easily, like you say, Megan, flip the tables. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, that also bothers me. Yeah, it's just like, you know what I mean? It's just you know, the hormone thing is ridiculous. You know, there's something wrong with your hormones. You know, it's like, no. Or just there's something wrong with us. It's like, no, there's nothing wrong with us. It's just perfectly normal. I really, really, really hope and pray one day society just understands there is a sexual orientation that means we don't get the need, urge, or want for partner sexual intercourse. It's real, it's valid, just as much as any other sexual orientation. It's a normal thing for some people to be like. It's a normal sexual orientation for some people to have. And there's nothing wrong with it. It's perfectly fine, because until they accept it, there's still going to be even more abuse than there should be. Because if asexuals aren't wanting sex in the first place, we don't get the need, urge, want for it, we're more likely to be susceptible to abuse anyway in a sexual manner, because we're being put into positions which are no good for us, because, you know, people are not aware, or they're ignorant to asexuality, you know? I mean, sexuals need to wake up to asexuality, you know? People can go to a court over being, you know, rape and stuff. Why would they want to be with someone who doesn't actually want sex with them, who's not interested? You know, obviously some asexuals don't mind sex, don't mind doing that, don't mind it at all, maybe even want to do that in some way, you know? I'm going to go in a minute because my throat's getting sore, and some of my footage that I filmed the other day has not actually come out correctly. There's no sound. I recorded it wrong, so, you know, I need to rest my voice soon. But yeah, it's not nice when people just make up excuses for why they actually, you know, like women with no clothes on or barely any clothes. It's just ridiculous. And it's also ridiculous that they just make up loads of rubbish as to why we are the way we are. You know, I just want them to understand it's a sexual orientation. Why is it so difficult to understand that? You know, it's just all conditioning. It's just all conditioning that society, parents, families, teachers, friends, that predominantly heterosexual, is just all that they give us, and, you know, all the time, and bombard you from like being a child basically with all these different things, you know, and all the, you know, growing up, it's just all sexual imagery in schools. It's all about, you know, like, you know, when you're in class, it's all about guys and girls saying, oh, have you got off with so and so yet? Have you got to first base, second base, third base? I didn't even know what first base was. I'm like, what is these bases? Are we playing baseball or something with our partner, or what? Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't get it. I still never really, I mean, I don't even think I looked it up. Like, you know what I mean? I know that one of it's supposed to be making out, but then I didn't even really understand what making out was, because it's not something, if I snog a guy, I think, as far as I know, making out is when they put their hands, you know, like, they don't just like kiss them, they put their hands on their body, like the guy will put their hands on the women's top part and go down her inner blouse and stuff like that. It makes me uncomfortable. Sam, I don't know what all these bases mean. It's like, yeah, can't we just play baseball if we really want? I'd rather touch base, as in communication, as in let me send my loved one a message. You know, I'm not keen on the word making out. I love kissing, passionate kissing, but making out, it's like, I don't want some guys hands up my blouse creeping up while I'm kissing him. It's like, no, I just want your beautiful kisses and your beautiful face and your beautiful eyes and your beautiful smile and your beautiful hair and your beautiful shoulders. That's enough for me. Megan, there's also some sexuals who say you're just being a special snowflake. Oh yes, but yet they expect people to sleep with them. Exactly. The reason they criticize you, not you specifically, the reason they criticize us as asexuals a lot of the time is to make us wrong, so they will get sex out of us, or to make us wrong, so we'll see their sexual point of view and say, yeah, it's fine. Go and Google loads of people go and jump into bed with loads of people. I mean, if that's what they want to do, it's consensual and other people love them doing that as much as they do, then go for gold. Do you know what I mean? But don't make up excuses or rubbish, do you know what I mean, about what you're up to and doing and what you really think and believe, and then put the emphasis on us that we're in the wrong. It's ridiculous. We're not in the wrong. You know, we're just as much entitled to be ourselves. But what I don't like is when people like this guy just make up rubbish excuses. It's like, don't even bother, mate. But yeah, Megan, they'll just like, I think a lot of it is they do twist the things a lot. What made me really sad in a group was that I met this guy in an entrepreneur group, actually, and he said his wife, he believes, is asexual, but then he started saying, oh, it must be some trauma in her past. And he told me about her, but I couldn't speak to her. I could only speak to him. Because obviously he's come to me, but he wasn't particularly good. He's like, oh, I stayed faithful all these 12 years, but now I can't anymore because I need sex. And I do love my wife and she's really amazing, the best woman ever. But, you know, I've just had to have sex. And, you know, and she's obviously got trauma in her past childhood that's made her like this. And I was just like horrified, to be quite honest with you. I feel so sorry for her. I really wish that she was in my asexual groups, that he actually gave her my details. Do you know what I mean? But obviously I've got to respect confidentiality and I can't just go around like trying to find his wife saying, you know, come join us, because the way he speaks about her is as much to say she's got something wrong with her that made her this way. So basically he's too hard done by now. He's gone 12 years without sex, so he's got to have it now. And it's like so sad. It's like, if your wife is that beautiful and worth it, why the hell are you doing that to her? Thanks for the thumbs up, you know? It's just horrible. It's like justifying their behaviour and their actions for cheating because it's okay, because they've basically got a person who's asexual, but they don't want to accept that they're asexual. They'd rather put it down to trauma because they can't deal with the fact that their partner doesn't want sex. Sam, I don't like sport. No, me neither. Austin, no, we put our hands on the backside. All right. Megan the Curse, welcome, Austin. Sam, I'd much rather someone was just honest and had an open mind, talk to people and try understanding others, even if just a little. Hey, Austin. Austin, you feel sorry for her. She chose to marry him, and everyone knows after marriage there is usually sex. All right, okay, Austin. So you want to contribute to the conversation from a sexual point of view, heterosexual point of view. She chose to marry him. Everyone knows after marriage there is usually sex, but asexuals don't have to have sex. If you have sex with someone and you don't want to have sex, it's sexual abuse, whether you're married or not. You don't owe your husband or wife sex just because you're married to them. There doesn't need to be. Exactly. There doesn't need to be sex, Megan, in a relationship. You know, it's because if the heterosexual guy expects that, then he shouldn't. Do you know what I mean? He shouldn't expect things that the person doesn't want to do or doesn't like. That's not love. That's abuse. Trying to think, you know, like she owes him sex. It's not just a true necessity like eating, sleeping, etc. Exactly. It's not a true necessity. You know, he chose to marry her. It doesn't sound like he was trying to force it on her. He was basically trying to say she's gone through some traumatic experience. That's why she's the way she is. And she's basically, you know, got past things in her life. So basically it's down to the fact that she's traumatized, that she can't have sex. So he's so hard done by, he's got to go and get it elsewhere and cheat on her. It's disgusting. If he's going to do that, if he really cares about her and loves her and, you know, he can't help himself, you should split up with her. You should let her free to be by herself, you know, instead of cheating on her. Maybe that's true, maybe it's not, but we don't know. What I do know is that you shouldn't say that if someone doesn't want sex with you, it's a result of trauma, right? Because I was talking to him about her and she's clearly asexual from what I could tell. You know, an asexuality is not a result of trauma, right? And he's basically saying that she's the problem when he was talking to me. you know, that she's the problem. She's been through trauma, so that's why I'm hard done. I can't have sex with. She's gone through this traumatic experience, and I think she's blocked it all out. You know, it's like ridiculous. You know, you don't have to have sex in order to be married. There are asexuals that are married and they're not having sex. You know, you don't have to have sex just because you're married. You're getting married for love. You're not getting married for sex. Sam, two people can be married in a relationship and not have sex. It should never be expected of anyone under any circumstance. Exactly, Sam. Exactly, Sam. You know, you can be married to someone or in a relationship and not have sex. Do you know what I mean? You're marrying for love. You're not marrying for sex. You're marrying for better, for worse. But that also includes if the woman, you know, is not interested in sex. It doesn't, you know, like, and you're supposed to remain faithful. Don't forget, with a marriage, it's supposed to be about being faithful. And he told me he cheated. You know, he said, after 12 years of marriage, I cheated. So he's not faithful. So, and marriage is about being faithful. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, clearly he shouldn't even be married. You know, set her free so she can find other people like herself, you know, or at least give her the details of other asexuals. But no, he doesn't want to do that because he still wants the best of her while he's having whatever on the side. And blaming her, you know, I feel so sorry for her. The way he said he basically treating her now. The way he speaks about her is disgusting, you know, absolutely disgusting. You know, so basically making her wrong because of something that happened in her life. She happened to be like, that's why she's denying, you know, him sex. It's just ridiculous, or doesn't want to have sex with him. You know? Exactly. Being disloyal makes the other person's self-esteem weaken and think they're not good enough. Exactly, Megan. And the way he spoke about her is not going to make her feel good about herself. Because he's basically saying she's got a problem. That's why she's denying me sex. She's the problem, but she is not the problem. It's his attitude towards her that's the problem. But you're asking, but what if he didn't know she was asexual from the beginning? Some asexuals don't know they're asexual when they get into a marriage. But you don't have to have sex in a marriage. When you get married, you're not saying, I'm going to have sex with you. You're getting married. You know, you've got asexuals that are in relationships. They're asexuals and married and never have any sex. Aiden, either way, he still cheated. Exactly. He still cheated and he's married. So there you go. Megan, and she knew what she did and didn't want. Exactly. So he should have respected that if he loved her. Exactly. He should have set her free. If he really needs sex, right, rather than cheat, he should just set her free. Instead, from what I can hear of his conversation, what he's told me, it was a while ago, no, not recently, you know, he's making her wrong all the time. Well, I can't cope with the fact that you don't want sex with me anymore, and you've got this thing in your past, obviously, that you can't remember, that's caused you some trauma to be like this. This is his attitude, you know? It's all about blaming her for the fact she's not having sex with him. Something bad, so bad must have happened that he's got to cheat, because he's justified in cheating because she's not having sex with him anymore because of her past she won't deal with. It's got nothing to do with that. You know, asexuals are asexual. It's a sexual orientation. You shouldn't be cheating. Sam, exactly. If you ever feel the need to cheat, leave. People can change their mind about having sex, etc. And if the partner is not comfortable with that, then move on. Don't ever cheat. Yeah, but some people don't have the option to leave if they're financially reliant on their partner. And if they're being mentally abused, a lot of the time they won't, because he's made her wrong. So guys who make women wrong, and like they've got a bad traumatic experience in their life, they emotionally manipulate them. So she feels so low self-esteem because he's made her feel there's something wrong with her for being the way she is. You know, and she doesn't know there's other asexuals. He's like, oh, you know, she's just staying with me, but I'm cheating on her. And I said, well, give her my details. Tell her there are other people like her. she's asexual, you know. But of course, he's as far as I know, he's not. I haven't spoke to her. It was a while ago. It happened. He messaged me, you know. So he makes her wrong. There's nothing wrong with her, you know. And if you cared about her, why not let her be with people of her own kind? Because he's got her more controlled where she is. He's blaming her. She's been with him for 12 years. So obviously she depends on him to a certain extent. And she doesn't know there's people like her, probably, from the sound of it. He didn't, you know, because he happened to speak to me because I went in the group. But he didn't, you know, like he couldn't really get his head around asexuality. He goes, oh, I actually think it's, you know, like basically trauma rather than actual sexual orientation. She may have loved him romantically and wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. Yeah, she wants to. So from what I understand, she wanted to stay with him because she doesn't know any different. But she's more interested in her pets, her horse and animals, than actually having sex with him. So she just said she would stay and basically, you know. I think she was like, from what he said, I think she was, you know, like she doesn't know there's anyone out there like her. She doesn't think there's any other choices. Stay with a person, and if she goes with someone else, they're just gonna want the same thing from her. So she doesn't know there's any difference. So she'd just rather be with her animals, you know. So yeah. So basically, but I don't, you know, but he's cheating on her. And yeah, so he was telling me about her animals. Oh, she'd rather be with her animals than have sex, basically. I'm like, well, yeah. So what a lot of asexuals prefer to do, you know. And she doesn't know, you know, like if she doesn't know there's other people like her, she's never gonna know what that she's actually asexual. And you know, because he's told her it's a result of trauma. There must be something in her past she's blocked out to make her this way. That's what he's told her. You know, it's just sad. Yes, I agree the cheating was part was wrong, but he might be afraid to tell her he wants or wanted sex. I don't think it's wrong of him to want sex, but cheating isn't right. It's not right for him to cheat, and it's not right for him to make her wrong and for make out the fact that she's traumatized. That's why she doesn't want sex with him. She's asexual. He needs to accept that. He can't even accept that. And he can't even, if he loved her, he would be telling her about my groups. He'd be helping her. But no, because he'd probably be afraid of losing her. So he'd rather cheat on her and keep her as she is. You know, she might still, I mean, she doesn't, you know, she doesn't, as far as I know, she doesn't know he's cheating on her. But it's, you know, it's a private conversation, so I'm not going to go around saying it because I've got to respect people's confidentiality, you know, identity and stuff. This is why there needs to be inclusive education about asexuality, and Aiden's like, amen to Sam. Yeah, exactly. There needs to be a lot of education about it, you know, because that poor woman is thinking, well, I may as well stay put where I am anyway, even though I can't have sex, and you know, like, because she doesn't know any different. But the way he spoke about it was horrible. It's like she's being manipulated because she's being told, she's being drummed in on a regular basis that she has had trauma. She's the one in the wrong for not wanting, she's not wanting sex because she's not dealing with her past issues, which he's saying is obviously trauma that she's got deeply hidden and she's not actually consciously aware of. It's like, no, she's asexual and you just can't admit it, and you can't give her the freedom that she needs to be with her own kind. Do you know what I mean? And you're cheating on her as well. It's just not nice. Megan, when you love someone, you understand and support them no matter what orientation they have. Exactly. And also, if you can't love them in the way they need, if they really need sex, then you have to split up with them in the end, unless they, like you have to give them that option and set them free. And you have to tell them that there are people like you, people that can be like you. Like when I was at the UK Asexuality conference in 2018, there was a woman, hello to her if she's watching, and she was married and her husband came along and she found out she was asexual whilst being married to him, and he came along to support her. And she had my book, and she got this Asexual Perspectives book, So she got this book and she literally highlighted loads of sections of it, and she got me to sign it. And he'd come along to support her, and she found out she was asexual, when they'd been married, but she didn't want sex, and he came along to support her, to come and understand what asexuality is about, to come and see it. And he even made a joke to me. He goes, "Yeah, I'm one of those heterosexuals." So, so not all guys are like the other guy. Do you know what I mean? Because he's obviously come to the conference. He's helped to understand her. They've tried to work things out with, her not wanting sex because they're married, and he loves her and he wants to save his marriage and he wants to understand her. So there are, not every person that's in a marriage that's, that the person finds out they're asexual. Not every person turns around and goes, "Oh, well, like whatever, like I'm going to cheat on you." You know what I mean? Two people, whatever orientation they are, if they come to a point where they're no longer compatible, they have to have a serious discussion and set each other free from a place of love, not from a place of, like that guy's just keeping her wrong. She thinks there's something wrong with her for not wanting sex because he's telling her, dictating to her it's trauma. So she thinks basically that, she's being told by him this constantly, from what I can understand from what he said. So she's just like, I'll just be with my animals then and just stay where I am, because if there's something wrong with me, like, it lowers the person's self-esteem, lowers their confidence. They're not even going to know they could possibly get another relationship without sex, a loving, caring, committed one with another asexual, because they don't even know other asexuals exist, Apart from how he's acting, what should a guy do that married an asexual that hasn't ever had sex? It would be hard for a guy to leave in that situation, but it would also be hard to stay. Apart from how he was acting, what should a guy do that married an asexual that hasn't ever had sex? It would be hard for a guy to leave in that situation, but it would also be hard to stay. So obviously, if a sexual guy married an asexual that had never had sex, it's more likely that a sexual guy would marry an asexual that possibly has had sex at some point in their life, because they didn't realize it was asexual and did do that. So that's probably why, they might find out later that the asexual doesn't actually want sex. They were just doing it because that's what society dictated. If it was an asexual that had never had sex, obviously, hopefully they'd know that beforehand, because you didn't say whether they knew it or not. So hopefully they'd know that beforehand. If they knew beforehand that the asexual never wanted sex, they should only marry that asexual if they could live without sex forever. If it was a monogamous relationship they both wanted and the other person wanted. So if say a guy was heterosexual marrying an asexual woman and he knew she didn't want sex and she was monogamous or wanted monogamy, then he would marry her without sex, and he'd have to commit to her without ever having sex with her. If he didn't know she was asexual and they found that after they'd been married a while and she never had sex before, he would have to talk to her about that and have an open, honest discussion, right? And ask her if there's any type of sexual things she would like to do, if he does want to do some sexual stuff, right? And if there's some type of sexual thing she might like to do, just not the intercourse, then obviously they might be able to come to some sort of arrangement where they do other sexual acts that please them both, but they don't have the intercourse. If the woman is asexual and sex repulsed and completely hates sex, he then can't have sex with her, right? So if he needs sex, right, he can't, it's causing him depression, because this guy said he was getting depressed because of it. So if it's causing him depression, if it's causing him to be ill, if it's causing him so much unhappiness, he should then have an honest conversation with his wife and say, as much as I love you in heart terms, I'm a heterosexual, I need sex. I don't want to be unfaithful to you. I know you want monogamy, so, and I don't want to have an affair. So you talk through all the possibilities of different scenarios, like obviously the guy could masturbate himself, the guy could get sex toys, he doesn't have to have sexual intercourse or even do any sex acts with the women. Do you know what I mean? So he could, you know, I actually know a guy who's married to an asexual person. He didn't find that out until after he married her. And he doesn't have sex with her at all. He will not have an affair. Right? And that part of his relationship, he is sad about. Right? He is sad about, but everything else he loves about his woman. It's the best woman he said he's ever had in every other way in his life. And they have a kid. So basically they did have sex once because she had it. Well, they had it a few times, and they had a kid together. And after she'd had the kid, that was it. She wasn't interested in sex, but she wasn't even interested in showing any affection, no kisses or cuddles. So basically, if a sexual person is in a relationship with an asexual, if the asexual doesn't want sex, and if the sexual person always kisses and cuddles that asexual with a view to going on to sex, that asexual isn't even going to want to kiss or cuddle the sexual person. They're going to want to show them no physical affection like that, because they're going to know it's going to lead to something they don't want to do. So it's going to split, it's going to widen the gap between them. If there's no way you can work it out, then you should split up. As much as it's horrible, you have to do that, because there's no point in any sexual orientation, any relationship, two people staying together who are making each other miserable. As much as I wished all heterosexuals could live without sex forever, right? If that's not the case, if it's making you bitterly unhappy, it's causing rows, it's causing friction, you're unhappy, both unhappy, split up and go your separate ways, set each other free. Because there is no point in two beings of any sexual orientation staying together. Even two people who are heterosexual, they sometimes end up with different needs in their relationship. They change. People do change, and people are living longer these days than ever before. So whereas a relationship years ago might have lasted 30 years, maybe 50 if you're lucky, some people are having 60, 70-year marriages or whatever. 80 years maybe, even if they live to be 100 and they got together at 20 years old. You know, so it's very different these days. They're living longer, people staying together longer. Right? But if you can't work, you obviously do the proper thing. But when you talk, you don't accuse the other person. You don't say to the asexual, oh, well, you've been through trauma, or, you know, you're frigid, or some disgusting stuff that we get said to us sometimes, you know, there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong. Do not make the asexual wrong for not wanting sex. Obviously, heterosexuals, a lot of them naturally do want sex. Neither person's actually wrong in and of their own right, but it's if they make the other person wrong and there's something wrong with the other person, the problem lies, because you end up in a situation of blame, and you shouldn't be blaming each other. You know, in a loving, caring, committed relationship, you should be working it out. But obviously, an asexual can't have sex if they're sex repulsed and they really don't like it, because it's forcing them to do something that's abusing them, whether it's abusing their mind, emotions, or body. Some asexuals should just be like doing it. Just, you know, if they're sex repulsed, they would be just doing it because the person pushed them into it. And it's like being raped, because they're not in the moment, they're not enjoying it, they don't want it. You know, some asexuals are not like that, though. You have to understand, there's some asexuals that do want sex. There's some asexuals that have never had sex before in their life, but they do want to try it. But you have to understand that if an asexual wants to try sex, just because they do it once with you to try it, they might still decide after that they don't ever want it again with you. Because that's their choice. They might want to try it just out of curiosity. And then they might not like it. They might be like, no, it's really not for me. Right? So if you're married and the asexual person doesn't want sex, you have to then see if there's any way around that. If you're happy to both do some sexual acts together, and how much that would be, exactly what sexual acts are you prepared to do, put some boundaries in place. Like what's one person want, what's the other person want, what they both happy to do together, so that you're not pushing one into doing something they don't want to do. You know, like some asexuals would just like to do, some asexuals want to do lots of other things, but they don't want the intercourse. So they're quite happy to do a lot of the other stuff, and they know intercourse is off the table. Some asexuals would be more willing to explore their partner's body and do other things with them, because there's no pressure of the sexual intercourse. Sex repulsed asexuals usually don't want intercourse, they don't want sex acts, they don't want none of that. Right? But we have to understand, if you're in a relationship with someone, if you're trying to make someone have sex when they don't want it, it's still rape, still sexual abuse, whether you're in a relationship or not. Marrying them, being in a relationship, does not entitle you to their body and for them to be having sex with you. We need to stop this bad culture. We need to stop this thinking you own someone's body and you can control them, and you expect things like that. You know, a relationship should be loving and caring and giving, not expectation. Oh, we're married now. This is one reason I 100% I never want to get married, because I know that even in marriage, a guy expects housework. I don't want to be doing housework for a guy. Guy can look after himself. I look after myself. You know, I don't need to be doing housework for a guy. I'm not going to marry a guy so I can do his hoovering, his cooking, his cleaning. I have a life of my own that I love. Why should I have any less of a life I love just because I'm with someone in a relationship? You know, if I don't want to actually do that, if it doesn't make me happy, you should only do stuff in a relationship that makes you happy, that you want to do, that you want to give, that you want to, you know, do for that person, not because someone told you to, not because someone made you to, not because society expects you to, not because the other person expects you to. Sam, both parties need to be open and honest with each other. Relationships require communication and trust, which comes hand in hand. It's also manipulative sometimes. I've been through it before, but only was made into disliking my asexuality. Yeah, it's not nice, Megan, is it? There's no need to you know, there's not, thanks for thumbs up. There's no need for people to, you know, like, be blamed. You know, blame culture is not loving. Like Sam says, you know, it requires a lot of communication and trust. For any woman, even if they're not asexual, any woman needs trust, to trust the guy and to feel loved by the guy in order to want to actually give their body in sex to the person in the first place. You know, heterosexuals, women that love sex, they still have to trust that guy. The guy could hurt them. The guy could abuse them. It's all about trust, whether it's a friendship or a relationship. Every type of different relationship, whether it's with your parents, your family, your friends, they all require trust and a high level of communication. The ones that have less communication or less trust are the ones that don't function as well. And you have to have understanding as well, you know. I know that most heterosexuals, most of them need sex in relationships. So therefore, really, I can't be with a heterosexual in a relationship. Not unless a heterosexual is actually categorically happy the fact he never wants sex in his life. But, you know, everyone can change. That's the problem. I could get in a relationship with a heterosexual and 6 years down the line, he could say, well, I need sex now. That would be my fear about doing that, you know? That, you know, that would be a worry. That's why it's a lot easier for me to be with a asexual. But asexuals can change. You know, some asexuals go from being, you know, like heteroromantic or homo-romantic to being demisexual. They didn't realise it. So all of a sudden, they've never experienced sexual attraction in their life, and this one person they've met, and they're like, oh my gosh, I actually want sex with that person now, because I've experienced sexual attraction when that deep emotional bond has been formed that I've never had. Been with this person like 2 years, and now I want sex with them. You know, and it was quite sad because there was someone on my channel, and there was a person whose partner turned out to be demisexual, and they couldn't live without sex, and they ended up cheating on them. Well, having a polyamorous relationship, but the person didn't really want a polyamorous relationship. So it's kind of like, okay, you know, it's like approved cheating, if it were, but the person's really upset because the person couldn't live without sex anymore. But some demisexuals can live without sex, you know? Every relationship's a risk. ASAP. Hi, Sandra. Oh, Alter. Lots of love to you. It's so good to hear you and the passion in your voice. I respect you. Thank you. So ASAP is not asexual. They're a hypersexual. But they've been very kind and caring about the comments, and they're interviewing me for their project on sexuality soon. Austin, an asexual could also change, though. Well, that's what I've just said, Austin. I've just said an asexual could end up being demisexual. So I did just cover that, and maybe your comment was before I said that, you know. So anyone can change. Anyone can change. Sam, yes, anyone can change. We change all the time throughout life in many ways. So yeah, so you know, this is what can happen, you know. I said that right before you said that. Okay, Austin. Yeah. So anyone can change. That's the problem with getting into a relationship. You're very vulnerable. It can be very painful. You lay bare all your thoughts, your emotions. That's why relationships are very, very difficult. That's why a lot of people do scrolling. That's why a lot of people are non-committal these days. well, there's two reasons. One is that people like lots of sex with lots of people, so they just want to hook up with multiple people, so that's why they do all this online dating stuff. And then the other one is they don't want to bare themselves bare, if you know what I mean. They don't want to express all their emotions and feelings to just one person. They don't want the vulnerability that goes with this serious committed relationship, because it's scary as hell. I mean, if that person just changed, like maybe I don't want to live with the person, right? When you live on your own, you've got that security, you've got your own place. No matter what happens in the relationship, you've always got your own place, providing something doesn't happen to that place, right? So you've got your own, like, I like my own money, my own bills, my own place, my own work, But obviously, even if you live in separate places, your life still does get very entangled with each other. It's very, like, merged together. It has to, for a relationship to work. And so, it makes you very vulnerable. A relationship makes you very, very vulnerable. You're laying your soul bare. You're trying to trust that person, and it's a lot easier to be non-committal and not get hurt than it is to be in a relationship and potentially get hurt. But if you have grown and developed yourself into a conscious person, and you're developing and growing yourself, and you're developing your relationship skills, and you're mastering them, and you realize that you've got to be completely open and honest with that person, share all your secrets. That one little lie, that's it. Never tell a little lie. Little lies lead to bigger lies. People cannot trust people who tell little lies. Do not go there. You want complete, honest, open trust, and even tell the person stuff if they don't want to hear it. But don't put it from an accusing point and blaming point of view. You say, this is how I feel, right? So if you were saying something in a relationship, for example, if you were heterosexual saying to an asexual, you say, I feel love in my heart for you. We've been together, a long time now. And, I feel because we don't have sex that I feel disconnected from you. I feel, like lonely and lost sometimes. I feel I want that tenderness with you. I feel like, that I kind of feel that on my part, I feel rejected to a certain extent. And that's because I associate sex with love, even though I appreciate you don't, and for me, the love and the sex go together. And so when I'm not having sex with you, I feel like there's something missing in our love. And that's how I feel. And it's just really worrying me, and it's upsetting me. And I really needed to talk to you about it, darling. Can you please explain to me how you're feeling and how our relationship is going? How do you feel? And you should be having open, honest conversation, adult conversations like this, loving, trusting, both ways, very calm. Like, so your manner should be calmer, more relaxed, more from, this is how I feel, not you're wrong, you don't want sex, or you're wrong because you like loads of sex. Like, like loving, caring, loving. It's not easy. You're never going to be like that all the time. You're going to get triggered by each other. There's going to be times when you're just going to get irate with each other. There's going to be times when you snap at each other. There's going to be times when you don't think like that. When you're in the heat of the moment, it's hard to say, oh, darling, I feel this way and that way and the other way. You do, you go back into snap mode. You go back into like, oh, I'm feeling this now. Rah, rah, rah. It happens. You're not perfect, but you need to develop yourself, relationship skills. Everything's ongoing. I'm an ongoing development. Every person should be developing themselves. They should not be sat day in, day out in front of the TV, not developing and growing themselves. You need to develop and grow yourself as a person in all key areas of your life: finances, relationships, friendships, spirituality, mission, career, all these type of things. You should be kind of trying to better yourself in each one of these areas. Obviously, relationships are a key fundamental thing of life, where it's a relationship with your family, your friends, your siblings, your loved ones, or loved one. That's what you should be doing. But you need to learn the art of communication skills backwards and forwards, and saying I feel. You need to use feeling sentences. I feel this. I feel that, Anyway, let's get back to the chat. Austin, it really comes all down to trust. Trust and not blame. Trust and not blame. No, I'm going to have to go in a little bit because my throat's going... It's because I was like streaming for nearly 4 hours yesterday. I've got to be careful with my throat because you can damage your vocal cords if you're talking all the time. Oh, pour myself some more water. Sam, that's why communication is key in a relationship. Yeah, me and Sam are best friends. We're both into guys, so not suitable for romantic wise, but we've got very, very good communication. Very good communication. We're very connected to each other, even if we're not seeing each other in person, if you know what I mean. So we have a very, very, very good, deep friendship. I have a friendship with Sam like no other. I mean, we have got another best friend as well of ours together as well. So all three of us are really good best friends. Really trusting and loving friendships. No romance, right? So but it's trust and communication is absolute key. Absolute key. And you have to have difficult conversations sometimes. But if you're true friends and you truly care about each other, then you can get through anything. You should be able to get through anything. Obviously, if it's like something really bad and disastrous, then but you wouldn't hopefully do that to your friends. A step, it's about moving from reacting to whatever the other person says to truly hearing them and creating the relationship going forward from every conversation. Very good, A step. Very good. Oh, I'm calling you A step. A step, but I like A step because it reminds me of asexuality. Asexuality step. Obviously, you're hypersexual and you're non-monogamous, but A step is also hyper-romantic like me. Woo! Someone who understands my hyper-romanticism. That is a plus. Megan, haha. I was just thinking that. Yeah, hyper-romantic. Yeah. So ASEP saw some of my videos, and they saw my hyper-romantic videos particularly, and they've got Altair is a star. Thus I like it. Right, is it a star? I didn't know that. So I'm being interviewed on July the 11th, which is a Saturday, for their project. Because I said I do want to work more with heterosexuals about, with asexuality, with I want to help raise awareness more amongst heterosexuals about asexuality. So I'd like to work with more heterosexuals. A-step, yes, it is. I am a star. Sandra's a star. Oh, thank you. Lots of love to you. Thank you very much. That's beautiful. Yeah, keep shining your light. It's so good. But I like the fact that A-step was honest. They were like, I'm a hypersexual, I'm non-monogamous, and I'm a hyper-romantic. Whereas I'm a hyper-romantic, hyper-kisser, but not hypersexual, monogamous. So two, different on two things. But yeah, I am I worked out the other day, I'm like, Sandra, you like kissing for about 3 hours or more. Time just flies. So you're probably a hyper-kisser, because I've got a hypersexual friend online, and they have sex for like 3 hours with their husband, and it's just good for them. They both like it. They're both hypersexuals. So they really enjoy it, and that's great for them. I have no problem with people having sex that love it in a committed relationship, consensual, and both enjoy it. But they told me like 3 hours, and I'm thinking, so I'm guessing, Sandra, if you're like kissing for 3 hours and it just like time flies by, you're probably known, or probably should say you're a hyper kisser, because it's kind of a bit better than saying kissing addict. Because if I was kissing addict, I'd have to go and kiss anyone and everyone. I can't kiss anyone and everyone. I can only kiss someone I'm highly aesthetically attracted to. Sam, 3 hours would include at least 6 to 9 tea breaks. Yes, yeah, but I mean, you do have to kind of have some food sometimes, or drinks, because sometimes, because you have to keep your energy levels up. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, even if you're a person who has sex, you kind of sometimes need to, like, if you're having more obviously I've had sex in the past, so if you're having sex, you usually need to fuel up on food again, or I did anyway. So like, I'm hungry now, so energetic, and obviously I'm very energetic when I do kissing. It's like a full body workout for me, so it's kind of like I need some food and drink, particularly drink. I'm always drinking water anyway, because it's a very thirsty thing, kissing a lot. Do you know what I mean? You need kind of like fluids to a certain extent. Actually, though, I was kissing the Indian guy that was kissing me in the club for an hour. Did I have a drink? I actually had water. I don't know if I was drinking, though. I would say something, but it would put you off, so I won't say that. A step, kissing for 3 hours is fun, and tea breaks sound fantastic. Megan, I hope to be kissed again. Oh, bless you. Yeah, I mean, you know, like you do kind of like, if you have to have tea breaks, you can have like tea breaks, obviously. Tea is life. Yeah, I don't drink normal tea. I only drink herbal tea. And it does make you go to the toilet more. I drink water all the time. Like water makes me go to the toilet as well. But water flushes out the toxins in your body a lot. So yeah, I don't usually drink that much tea, but if I do, it's herbal. I used to drink it every day, but I don't actually now. But yes, I was going to say something, but it would make you feel very like blur because it's to do with kissing. I think I best refrain from saying that. It's a bit naughty, but you can probably imagine what I was going to say. Like, why do I need to have a drink when I'll say it in the nicer way. Why do I need to have a drink when I'm actually kissing a guy? I don't need a drink, do I? I'm getting plenty of. Sam, I got told off the amount of tea I consume. Oh, bless you. Oh, great tea. Tea is like, yeah, I think it's, you know, it's just the caffeine that's the problem. You know, if you, I actually, the training I've just done, the guy didn't on health. I've just done I did a health and wellness, health and vitality training yesterday. And the guy was saying it's not that you can't have caffeine, but you shouldn't have it like if you get up, because he was talking about people, you know, that get up in the morning. I don't get up in the morning. You should have lemon water to cleanse the body, celery water to cleanse the body, then some like fruit smoothie, and then at noon then start having caffeine. Not having caffeine first thing in the day because it's not good for the body, because the body's like the liver needs to get rid of toxins. That's why you should have like other stuff to cleanse the liver first, then have that later on. Megan, and oh, sorry, I don't watch anime. Seal Phantom Hives from Black Butler. Yeah, I don't watch anime. I know loads of asexuals love anime, but I don't actually watch anime. Do you know what I mean? I don't watch TV. I don't watch TV. I don't watch Netflix. The only thing I watch is movies if I have it on my Blu-ray, and I usually watch dance movies all the time because I love dancing. They're high octane energy. They really put me in good spirits, and I love a good romantic love story. There's a teenager style romance, which is much better than all the adult sexual stuff that goes on in the world, in my opinion, because I'd much rather have that type of romance. You know, that's what I love in the Step Up movies. You know, everyone in the Step Up movies is like having these romances, like the kissing, but there's no sex in them. It's like, yay, just dancing and kissing and, you know, like passionate snogging with no sex. I love it. Megan, I saw it a long time ago, but I avoid most TV shows and movies. I'm mostly on YouTube. Yeah, I do. Like, I'm on YouTube listening to dance tracks usually. Well, I'm listening to Latin music, reggaeton lately, Spanish music, foreign music, obviously, because I like foreign guys. So, you know, I get the best of both worlds. I can hear foreign guy voices all the time. And then I can like hear all the happy tunes and the nice beat. I don't know what they're saying half the time. I actually did really like one song, and then I looked at the video because there was a mix of different songs. It was just like a picture, you know, like a still picture of 4 or 5 people, I think it was. And when I went through to the video, because I don't know what the words are because it's foreign, it was a really bad video. It's like the guy isn't being nice to the girl and they're rowing, and I'm like, oh my god, why can you have such a good beat tune yet it looks really bad what the video's about? I'm like, this is not good. This is really not good. I thought that's such a shame. No, I kind of like forgot about the video, but I'm gonna have to go, I think, because my throat's getting really sore. Sam, I watched some films on. I'm gonna have to go. You can hear my voice is starting to go. I watched some films on Netflix and Amazon Prime, as I love certain sci-fi. I watch lots of history and science stuff on YouTube. Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, like especially at the moment, like if people are having problems, thanks for the thumbs up. If people are having problems with their mental health difficulties as well, you know, and watching some like comedy or some shows takes your mind off things, then that's good and well. But I mean, I purposely don't watch things with, you know, I try not to watch things with rape, murder, death in them, that type of thing, because it's just, especially at the moment, it's no good. It's no good for the mind. You don't need to plow negativity. You need to remain positive and have positive vibes at all times. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, yeah, I'm gonna have to go because otherwise my voice is gonna start going, and I've still got to record some footage this week for my thing. So Sam, that's why I'm watching more stuff at the moment. Yeah, I know you're watching a lot more stuff, and comedy's really good. Comedy and anything that makes you laugh or smile is really, really good. So anyway, I'm going to love you and leave you for now. Thank you for the thumbs up. If anyone hasn't given a thumbs up and they really want to, I'd really love that. I'd really appreciate it. It does help raise awareness of asexuality. Obviously, helps the channel to grow as well, which is always going to be beneficial to whether you're asexual or sexual, because the more sexuals understand asexuality, the more it's accepted by society, then the more that sexuals won't end up in relationships with asexuals if they don't want to be, because society will accept asexuality, so we can all be out of the closet, we can all understand what asexuality is and recognise from an early age if we're asexual or not, which is what we need. We need people to recognise from an early age they're asexual, then that'll prevent a lot more of this heartache and pain situations in relationships later on. It's got to be a good thing, right? So anyway, A-Step, take care of your voice, feel better, my friend. Blows, kisses. Oh, thank you. Kisses to you too. Anyway, I always thank people that have been in chat, so I want to make sure I do that tonight because I always like to do that before I go. So lots of love to Ray and Tundra. Lots of love to Sam. Lots of love to Megan. Megan's a huge contributor to the show as well as Sam and Ray. I'm going to spread love to you, Austin. Thank you for your messages and questions. Lots of love, Aidan. Really nice to see you here again. And A-Step, it's really nice to see you. Thank you so much for being in the conversation tonight. It's really, really good. And bye, Megan, and bye, Sam. Bye, everyone. And brace your quirky and each other, and I'll see you on the next video live stream. Take care. Always stay ace. Bye. Bye. Bye, Aidan. Bye, everyone. Lots of love.